Hi everybody, Mrs. Wants here. Today we're going to talk about semicolons and how to use them in a sentence. So what is a semicolon? Well, in the last lesson, we learned about colons. And today we're learning about something that is quite similar, but it looks a little different. It looks like a comma with a period on top of it instead of two periods stacked together. So semi in Latin means half. It's a root, and we use it as a prefix in English to mean something that is partial. So a semicolon is a partial colon. So on Scout's punctuation difficulty scale, the semicolon is one of the hardest. It comes right above the comma and right after the apostrophe. So why should we care about something as small as the semicolon? Well, we want to evolve our writing towards complexity. This is why we care about the way sentences are formed, about the types of punctuation we use, and it's really important to be able to write with clarity. That means to write with a kind of clearness that allows people to understand our complex ideas. So the semicolon is helpful in a few different ways. Let's take a look. So first thing the semicolon is helpful for is to join two independent clauses, implying a nicely balanced relationship between them. And the second thing that it does well is it organizes complicated lists. So let's go ahead and take a look. So if we have two independent clauses, two simple sentences, such as Scout really likes peanut butter, it may be her favorite food on earth, we can join them with a semicolon. Instead of using the word and plus the comma like we would in a compound sentence, we can just plop a semicolon right there and join them just like that. Now, when you use a semicolon, you need to make sure that both sides of your sentence can stand alone, that they really are two independent clauses. A lot of times I see students wanting to use a semicolon, but that second part of the sentence after the semicolon is not able to stand by itself. So that would be an improper usage, and I'll show you some examples of those. Another thing, we don't want to use a semicolon right in front of a conjunction like that unless it's in a list, which I'll show you about in a minute. So here's an example of two sides of the sentence that are not independent. This second side, and cream cheese even better, that is not going to work as a full sentence. So that semicolon not only can't go in front of the and, instead you just want to take the and out, but it also can't go in this sentence at all because this part of the sentence is not able to stand by itself. So we're going to cross that one out. Second example. The dog lion Hercules has golden fur, an impressive curly tail, and a loud roar. He intimidates Scout a little. So we would want to join these two sentences together with a semicolon. So basically, you can see right here, you take the period out, you uncapitalize the first letter of this sentence, and you replace it with a semicolon. Now, remember, both sides need to stand alone, so let's take a look at this one. So clearly, the first part of the sentence before the semicolon can stand by itself, but the second part, and intimidate Scout a little, it can no longer stand by itself. So that would be an improper use of a semicolon. So here we have an example. Anahita's fur is calico, and this means she has three colors. So here we basically we have two things that are sort of competing. We have a semicolon and we have the word and, a conjunction. So we never want to use them together when we're joining two sentences. Basically, you just want to take the and out and leave just the semicolon, like that. Now, I want to talk to you about something that I call a however slam. And it's a really cool way to use a semicolon to sound more sophisticated in your writing and to maybe bring a little more clarity or and maybe even impress people a little bit. So let's take a look at what a however slam is. Here's an example. So I'm going to take these two sentences. The dog lion Hercules has golden fur, an impressive curly tail, and a loud roar. Scout is not intimidated. And I'm going to, I want to put these two together, and I could do that with a compound sentence. So here you see the two are joined with the conjunction but and a comma right before it, just like you've learned how to do in compound sentences. But I want to be a little more sophisticated. I want to say the same thing, but in a more sophisticated way using a semicolon. So I'm going to take that comma out and I'm going to put in a semicolon and the word however, and then the comma. The dog lion Hercules has golden fur, an impressive curly tail, and a loud roar. However, Scout is not intimidated. So I'm giving a little bit more emphasis to the last part of the sentence, and maybe I'm kind of showing that, well, it's kind of impressive that Scout's not intimidated by something such as this dog lion Hercules. It's a little stronger than that middle sentence. So either one would work, the compound sentence in the middle or the however slam in the third one. But the however slam is just, the reason I call it a slam, it's just a little more like more emphatic, right? It has a little more strength behind it, a little, maybe even a tiny bit more emotion behind it. So basically, here's another one. Scout really likes peanut butter. She likes cream cheese even better. So I could join it as a compound sentence. Scout really likes peanut butter, but she likes cream cheese even better. Or I could use a however slam. Scout really likes peanut butter. However, she likes cream cheese even better. So remember, if you're going to use a however slam, you put the semicolon in front of the however, and you put the comma after it. So it's kind of like a however slam sandwich with the semicolon on one piece of bread and the comma as the other piece of bread. Now, there are a few other words that are similar to a however slam. So these words are called conjunctive adverbs. And I'm not giving you all of them. I'm just going to give you maybe about half of them today. So here we have them, and I'm going to give them to you one at a time in sentence examples. Okay, so here we go. You might want to pause this video now and write down these examples in your notebook to use later in the course or just to use in your writing, because I will tell you what, if you use these appropriately in any of your writing in school, your teachers will be incredibly impressed, especially in middle school. So the first one we have is consequently. Scout eats a lot of peanut butter. Consequently, her coat is shiny. Scout eats peanut butter. Furthermore, she loves it. Scout eats peanut butter. However, she prefers cream cheese. Scout eats peanut butter. Indeed, she gets it every day. Scout eats peanut butter. In fact, she has done this for years. Scout does not eat peanuts whole. Instead, she eats peanut butter. Scout eats a lot of peanut butter. Nevertheless, we avoid giving her too much of it. Scout eats peanut butter. Nonetheless, it's just a small treat. Scout eats peanut butter. Otherwise, she would whine when Mr. Wonsk has his daily toast. Scout eats peanut butter. Similarly, she gets a spoonful of yogurt each day. Scout eats peanut butter. Therefore, she is a bit like a human child. Scout eats peanut butter. Thus, her fur is shiny. Okay, so part 2, organizing a complicated list. So what does that look like with semicolons? So if you recall our seagull and our pineapple from the last lesson, what if we wanted to organize a list that is a little bit more complicated than we did in the last lesson. So here we have the seagull in Scout's dream has no name and is annoying. And here's what he does. He complains. He steals French fries, nachos, and hot Cheetos. He brags. He eats all the juicy, just cut pineapple, even the spikes. He poops everywhere, including on the dogs. So this seagull is truly annoying. He does so many things. And what I want to do is I want to put all these things into a really well-organized sentence using commas, okay? So here's what that's going to look like. And as you can see, it's going to be a bit confusing unless I had already seen that list. Now pretend for a minute you haven't seen this list before that I just showed you. Let's read this sentence. He does 5 annoying things. Complains, steals French fries, nachos, and hot Cheetos, brags, eats all the juicy, just cut pineapples, even the spikes, and poops everywhere, including on Scout. So the commas alone aren't enough to help us understand all the different 5 things that this annoying seagull does. We need to borrow some semicolons to put in between those 5 things, or at the end of each of those 5 things, to help the reader understand what the 5 things actually are. So they're not all jumbled together just with commas. So we are going to do that this way. He does 5 annoying things. Complains, semicolon. Steals French fries, nachos, and hot Cheetos, semicolon. Brags, semicolon. Eats all the juicy, just cut pineapple, even the spikes, semicolon. And poops everywhere, including on Scout. Now the reader is helped along to understand each of those 5 things, even the long ones like the pineapple and the food. Okay, so here are your 4 attempts challenge. Where to place the semicolons. So these are the 4 sentences, and what you can do right now is pause your video and decide where would a semicolon go, or maybe more than one semicolon. So see if you can place the semicolons correctly, and then I will show you the answers right away. So number 1, the dog lion lives only in Scout's dreams. However, it seems real to her. So remember, if you're using however slam, we want to put the semicolon before the however and the comma after it. Number 2, the seagull is annoying everyone in Scout's dreams, agrees, especially the dog lion. The seagull is annoying. Everyone in Scout's dreams agrees, especially the dog lion. Okay, so that's where the semicolon would go best. Number 3, Scout dreams a lot when she naps, her short legs kick like she's running. Scout dreams a lot, semicolon, when she naps, her short legs kick like she's running. So both sides of that semicolon could stand by themselves, so it's properly placed. And the last one. So here you can see I placed 4 semicolons, one right after each of the things that he could do. If the seagull wanted to be less annoying, he would do the following. Calm down, semicolon. Share the hot Cheetos, tacos, and French fries, semicolon. Not hog the juicy fresh cut tomato, semicolon. Be humble, semicolon, and look before he poops. So that's it. We're done for today. Go ahead and go on to practice and feedback. Scout says good job, and we will see you next time.